Okay, welcome to this lecture. And in this lecture, we're going to talk about how much to charge. And this is a really fun topic because, first of all, it directly affects how much money you make in your business. And also, there's a lot of psychology behind it. So once you have your packages in place, you need to think about how much do you want to charge them? How much do you want to price them at? So the first thing to do is to go back to your goals. How much do you want to make and by when? So from there, you can just work backwards. Maybe you want to make a monthly revenue of $2,000 a month to start. If you price your packages at, say, $500 a month, then you only need to get 4 clients, and that's really not too hard at all. So think about what you saw when you were looking at the competition. What do you think is fair? Is what your competition charging, is that fair? Is it something that you would pay for or not? Also, you need to consider if you want to follow a Walmart model and go cheap and undercut the competition, as they say, or maybe you want to follow a Nordstrom model and provide top-notch service but at a premium price. Or maybe you want to be somewhere in between, like a JCPenney's, I suppose. So you have to think about what kind of clients you want to have. In many cases, the smaller clients come in at a smaller price point will be more of a hassle and they'll demand more. Whereas in my experience, the more Nordstrom-like clients often just trust you to do a good job and they leave you alone. They let you do your job. Just be sure with those clients especially that you deliver as promised. The amount of work to actually acquire the clients is about the same regardless of their budget. And it's been my experience that going for, let's call it the middle class to upper middle class businesses tend to yield the greatest return with the least amount of hassle. Let me give you an example. Towards the beginning of the company when I started out, I had a client paying $250 a month for a set of services. I also had another client paying $1,000 a month. Take a big guess who was more of a hassle. It was the client paying $250 a month. Besides already getting a great deal on their services, they also wanted more personal attention. They wanted phone calls. They even asked me to go to their company meetings. And meanwhile, the client that was paying $1,000 a month never even heard a word from them. They just expected us to get the job done and let us do our job, left us to our business. So the moral of the story really is to think about your ideal clients and what they look like. It'll take some adjusting, but soon you'll figure out who your perfect clients are based on, really, it's pretty easy, based on how much they're willing to pay. And that actually should be a big indicator to you. When someone chokes, when you tell them that your most effective package is $750 a month, if they choke, then that's saying something. If they don't even bat an eye, chances are good that you found a good client. While we're on the subject, don't be afraid to fire clients. When you're first starting out, you may be tempted to work with everyone, but you'll soon realize that there are some clients that just aren't worth the time invested. Fire them and move on to more ideal clients. This will save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of heartache, a lot of headaches, and you'll be able to make more money because you're not dealing with someone that is giving you a lot of hassle. Another thing to consider regarding pricing is to price your services based on what you think you can get. Obviously, there's going to be a little trial and error here for sure, but soon you'll get a feel for what the market is willing to spend. Most clients, just a FYI, most clients aren't willing to spend $1,000 for you to post to Twitter. On the other hand, if you can consistently get them ranking on page 1 and they're getting phone calls every day from new customers, most of them would be happy to pay you at least $1,000 a month. So again, you have to think about your services, who your ideal clients are, and then just go from there. Okay, so let's get to some actual pricing. Here's a quick tip on actually pricing your packages. With your packages 1, 2, and 3, like we talked about with the in and out model, price them like this. Package number 1, and again, these numbers are just an example. But package number 1 is going to be priced at $349, package number 2 at $449, and package number 3 at $749. And this is priced like, if you think about it, you've probably seen this model before, it's priced like your local car wash. Package number 1 is going to have the bare minimum service. It's still valuable and it's worth the money, and it just doesn't offer anything extra. Package number 2 provides a lot more in the way of services than package number 1. And it's not priced very much higher. In fact, this creates more value for your client, but still gives you a great margin. Package number 3 provides the works, and you can build in as much margin as you wish. So keep in mind the above numbers that I said, $349, $449, $749, they're just examples. Your first package could start out at $899 or more, or less. It's really up to you. These are just examples. The most important thing here is to follow the pattern that's laid out. Let me explain the psychology of how it all works. Package number 1 is there to serve as an anchor. It sets the minimum price for your services. Package number 2 is really the one that you want to sell. People will see how much more they can get for just slightly bigger investment, and they're going to compare it to package 1. They think, well, gee, for $100 more bucks, I guess I can get this much more. We might as well do that. It's just $100 and we get all this much more services. Here's the fun thing. In package number 3, this is the magic bullet. It's a really high number, not too high, it can't be too ridiculous, but it makes number 2 look even better. People think, well, I would love to get package number 3, but I can really only afford package number 2, and package number 2 is a great deal, so I'm going to go with that. This method really works. There's no deception. In fact, most people can see what's happening. You just have to decide what you think is genuinely fair for each package. In other words, if you were to buy your own services, what would you feel that you were getting your money's worth? Go on that premise and you'll be just fine. It's kind of a karma issue. So keep in mind also that you're always going to get the people that want the cheapest package. It doesn't even matter what the actual price is. They just see what the cheapest one is and they're going to go cheap. Doesn't matter if the price is $449 for the cheapest package or if it's $1,049 for the cheapest package, they're going to go for that. Also, you're going to get the people that always want the best. It won't even matter. Again, same thing, psychology, but opposite thinking. It won't even matter what the price is. They just know they want the best and they're willing to pay for it. The huge majority of people, in my experience, will go for the middle package. They'll go for the package number 2. So just as a tip, make sure that your pricing matches the value that you're looking to offer and the services that you offer while still creating a good profit margin for you. So with that in mind, let's explore now the actual pricing amount. Online, there's a heated debate among marketers about ending the number in a 9 versus a 0. For example, $199 versus $200, as you can see here. So there's even talk actually of the magic number 7. If you had $197, the psychology there is that it's not quite 9, but it's more than 5. It's one of those odd numbers. It's up to you really how you want to price it. So of course, everyone knows that $199 is really like spending $200. We all know that. But somehow seeing the 1 in the hundreds column versus a 2 creates a psychological trigger. And it tells us it's cheaper. So when we're just quickly looking at it, we think, oh, $199. Well, at least it's not $200. So we all, again, know it's $200. It's just $1 away from spending that amount of money. But somehow seeing that 1 there really makes us think that it's cheaper. Online, you're going to see both the flat rate and the 9 in action. You're going to see the flat $200 and then you're going to see the $199. There's some merit, I think, into being straight up and saying, hey, this is my price, $200, period. So what you do is really up to you and what you feel comfortable doing. If you think it's too much of a marketing salesy tactic to do the $199, then just go for the flat rate and be straight up. I think people will appreciate it. Bottom line, it's really how you come across. So the actual costs for your services that you establish are up to you and your business goals. So I found personally in my own business, I found great success with the numbers $349, $449, and $749. Again, you have to take into account the services that you offer and if that's fair, and again, if that's going to create a good profit margin for you. That $500 range works very well for the online marketing budget of a big majority of businesses out there. It's kind of a magic number. And these businesses are anywhere from 3 to, say, 15 employees. And when you get bigger than that, of course, the marketing budget for the company usually goes up. And so that's, again, going back to finding out who are your ideal clients. And then you can do your pricing accordingly. So that's it for this section. If you have any questions on this section, let me know in the discussion board, and we can dive deeper into this. But it's a great topic, and it's very important to think about getting good value, offering good value, getting great margin, while still offering a competitive price. So that's it for this section. I'll see you in the next lecture.